Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Wednesday, the 19th of April. I am Flat Cap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Alright, folks, there's going to be some changes around here. I've had enough. I ain't losing no more. I am sick of it. It is changing. So, this week is International Positivity Week. If you want to fact check that, you'll probably find it's not true. But this is what we're having on the channel. So the channel, we're celebrating an unofficial International Positivity Week. So what that means is, for Wednesday, we are getting it on like Donkey Kong. We're having a little go. We are going to go back in the winner's enclosure. That is what we're doing. I've had enough, and that's what we're doing. So I've got some nice bets for Wednesday, and I am not taking a losing day as an answer. So we are winning. That is what I'm deeming it to be. Okay? Now, hopefully, most people can see through my fairly dry sense of humour and nobody goes and loses their head. But we are having it a little go on Wednesday. So it's £25, 5 bets, 3 lucky 15s, 1 4-race combo bet, and a little side double as well. So £25, first race, 130 Cheltenham. The 4-race combo bet is not necessarily got the 4 races most people might look at, because some people will naturally catch their eye to the 4 races that are at least 16 runner handicaps. I've got 2 of them in my 4-horse combo. I'm less keen on the Beverley one because Beverley can be a funny track. So I've got a horse in the Beverley race, but not put it in the combo. And one of the Gowran Park ones, I've left it out completely. I don't like the 3-year-old handicaps, particularly this time of year, particularly on soft ground. I ain't touching that. So I've got a couple of different ones in there. That is what is coming up. Before I do that, I'll do the review of Sunday. I'll mention about the stats of where we're at. And I will cover anything we've done in the comments on Monday and Tuesday as well. And then there was a couple of little anecdotes I was going to mention at the end. One about Lucky 15's profitability or not. There was a little anecdote about that. And one as a little anecdote. Talked about it for a while, but I haven't talked about it before, but not for a while. About never rule a horse out if the only issue you've got is the jockey. So, Sunday. What did we use Sunday? We lost on Sunday. We had premium access placed, but only for, I want to say, it was definitely Sky and I think maybe Hills. And that was about it. We had a bunch of donuts in that bet. And then the second one here, we had non-runner and place, but only for Sky, I think. And maybe all Coral. Splitting hairs, it was 10 on 337 back, we lost. And we lost the week 18 quid, and we're back down to minus 270 for the year, which is 13 and a half days stake. So super transparent, super clear. The stats are all in the description. You don't need to make your own spreadsheets for my channel. You can do if you want to, but they're all in the description. So 13 and a half days stake, we are down for the year. We are plenty ahead since we started, but this awful run is ending this week. I'm not having it anymore. I am not having it. So that's what's happening. In the comments, what did we do? We had 4 horses originally went in on Monday, plus a side bet. The side bet was awful. The 4 horses, 1 non-runner, 2 nice places all round. One was 33s, backed in, and it had a rule 4, which was quite significant, but it does depend on when you put the bet on. The other one was only got beaten by 1 horse, was second. So 2 out of 3 of the ones that ran, and then the other one was last, and the side bet was last. So 2 places, 2 lasts. And then Tuesday, I did it as a combo bet in the comments. So there was 2 horses in the first leg, actually 3 horses in the first leg. One came 6th, which was only good for Sky, which was about 20 to 1. And in the second leg, had 1st and 4th both well backed in. The first one was 14 to 1. I think when I put it up, and it was 15 to 2 it won, which was Rockview Roman, which annoyingly was one when originally the Gowran Park meeting was on. I tipped up and then they rearranged it after it was abandoned, and I did indeed like it still, and it went and won. So that is that. I will crack on with Wednesday's bets, and then I'll talk about jockeys and lucky 15 bets. Alright, so we are marching in to the start of our flat cap Callum week with this Cheltenham Lucky 15. 130 Gowran de Carjac 17-2. It's a familiar name to the channel. 240 Bretney 16-1. 425 Hurricane Harvey 28-1. And 5 o'clock Walhan 16-1, which I think we've taken that before. 540 is your bet. Sky best. 365 Coral or Paddy next best. Quite a few extra place races knocking about, and that includes other bookmakers, but they are next best. Corals, you'll get bogged the night before. 365 and Paddy, you'll have to wait till the morning, but that's an 18p each way, lucky 15. 540 is your bet for bet 1. That's where we are starting. Then we will go on to a next lucky 15, no Cheltenham. So 225 Newmarket, chairman of the board, 8-1. 250 Beverley, it's my only horse in that race. Ventura Flame, 10s. Happy enough to have one selection in that one. Tricky race, for unfamiliar viewers. Beverley, one of the most biased tracks in the UK. Stall 1 on a sprint is very favourable. I like the horse, his form. The only niggle for me is whether it's going to go well enough fresh. But I think with the draw, with the form, 10-1's a good price. 515 Gowran Park, Trouba 25s, 545 Gowran Park, Mary Salome 25s, 18p each way, lucky 15. Sky best, then 365 next best for bet 2. And the final lucky 15 is this one, 240 Cheltenham Innisfree Lad at 14s, 425 Cheltenham Bells of Peterborough 11s, 515 Gowran Park Mr Stanley 16s, and then this one, I have mentioned this in the comments from the last video on Tuesday night, 830 Kempton. So 7 runner, only 365 of the major bookies right now are paying 3 places, and you can get this 4 places at the time of making this video still, 66-1, 4 places in the 7 runner. I absolutely think that side bet's really, really good. Risky, 50-1, 7 runner 2 places with Sky, definitely a risky one. I like 66s for 4 places with 365, a lot more than I like 50s with 2 places, but I didn't want to leave it out. It's basically a horse that was really, really good, had about 4 years off the track. It's run 6 times for a new trainer, not really done anything, but the mark it's on, I think it's gone down £32 in the ratings since its 6 runs ago, and I just think now is probably the time to maybe catch it. It's not completely void of any ability at all, but it's plummeted in the ratings. It's a not a good quality race that it's in, and I think you can have question marks over the entire other 6 horses in the race. So I think it's worth a try at 50s for 2 places, but 66s at 4s. I rate that horse 4th or 5th best overall. And so that's why I think 4 places at 66s looks like a lovely bet at the moment. For the channel, all we can do is 50-1 2 places. But if you've got a 365 account, that's my recommendation. So I've done it as 18p each way, lucky 15, and a 50p each way single on Soldier in Action. That I think is a 4th or 5th placed horse. But we're chancing the arm because there's a value in the price. And we'll see about the side bet. Then that's Sky best, then 365 or Paddy. So in the main market for Sky is 3 places 100-1. So realistically, yes, you might lose the odd place on some of these, but for the sake of 100-1 3 places, it does make that bet probably better with 365 on balance. But I've called it Sky just purely because of the other extra places. That's £5.90 your bet. And then here's our combo, our combo for Wednesday. We're going the 225. Got short ones in this one, but I was happy in the context of bet. I'm good with this. Chairman of the board at 8s and above at 6s. So Sky are paying 5 on that one. Then the 240 Cheltenham, Bretney at 16s and Innisfree Lad at 14s. Sky are 6 on that one. 425 Cheltenham, 4 places on here. Hurricane Harvey 28s, Bells of Peterborough 11s. And finishing off at Gowran Park, 6th with Sky. Actually, no, it's 5 with Sky. Trouba 25s, Mr Stanley 16s. So what we've got, 16 times 10p each way fourfold. So all 8 selections in your accumulator or fourfold section, 10p each way. So that's all combinations. So we need one in each race to at least place to get a return off that bet. And then what I've done is 2 lots of 25p each way doubles. I've doubled the 2 Cheltenham races. So these 4 are 4 cross 25p each way doubles. And then the Newmarket with the Gowran Park are 4 times 25p each way doubles. So it's £2 for one lot of doubles, £2 for another lot of doubles, £3.20 for the fourfold, which should take you to £7.20. Sky best, 365 and Paddy next best. That is bet 4. Any questions about the bet, feel free to put them in the comments. Then finishing off, I'm putting what I think are 2 of my best together in a separate double. They're in different lucky 15s, these 2. So bet 5 is this 5 o'clock Cheltenham, Walhan 16-1. I think it's an Irish lurker in Cheltenham. And then the 5:45 Gowran Park, Mary Salome, 25 is a great price. I think that's really been priced up wrong. I think it'll come on for its run, and if you go back to its form last season, it ran pretty consistent over a similar distance. Ground is fine. So yeah, 25 is nice price. 55p each way double. That's the leftover bit to take us to £25. Coral best. So basically these are 4 places on most bookies. So Coral, you get the bog of the night before. 365 if you do it in the morning, and if you've got a Sky Bet account, same place turns, you just won't get bog. £1.10 is your bet. Alright, that is it. That is Wednesday's go to change our fortunes on the channel. 2 other things I was going to talk about. What was I going to talk about? Lucky 15s. So there was a convo in the comments the other day about Lucky 15s. It's one of these debates people have all the time about, are Lucky 15s good bets? Because some people will tell you they're a great bet and other people will tell you they're a rubbish bet. And I've mentioned this before. It's all about value. If you're on the value and you've got a Lucky 15, then your value is multiplied. Now you need all horses in that bet, in theory, to be a value price for it to multiply. If your horses are not good value, i.e. they will get shorter in odds, they'll get longer in odds, or you've picked terrible selections, then that multiplies the bad value. Therefore, Lucky 15s are not good bets. Now, for those of you who have been watching quite a while and have had your accounts restricted, lots of people have been on and had Sky Bet accounts restricted, and the channel's gone through a couple of Sky Bet accounts already. What you will notice, if this has ever happened to you, so if you've ever lost an account like that, you will start to find that you can't get as much money on. It reduces the amount. So when your account restricts, you can't get as much money on. And it gets lower and lower and lower till it gets down to pence. And then the next thing that happens is you start to lose the ability, full stop, to be able to select a Lucky 15 if it's 4 horses, or a Trixie if it's 3 horses. Now, why would a bookmaker restrict you from a Lucky 15 or a Trixie bet if they thought they were good bets for them? They're the first things you lose the ability to do. You then are restricted on what you can do, and then it restricts you down from doing things like doubles and trebles. But why would a bookie restrict you from a Lucky 15 or a Trixie first when they restricted your account if they are bad bets to place? Thought for the day. Second thing, jockeys. Now, there was a race on Monday. I didn't tip a horse in it, but I looked through the field, and it was a great example. There was a horse, I can't remember, I want to say maybe it was Redcar, possibly. It was Monday, and the horse was Maison, and we backed it in the Spring Mile at Doncaster at the start of the flat season, and it placed for us. It went off at 7-1. Now, my read of the form of that race is, hands down, that horse should have been the favourite for the race. It had the best form in the race. It had already run a few times this season, so it had fitness in the legs. It liked the ground, it liked the distance. Everything for me was in the favour of that horse, with the exception of one thing. The only negative on that horse was the jockey booking. I can't even remember the chap's name. He'd ridden 45 times, placed 5 times, never won a race in his life before, and those 45 runs were spaced out over about 6 years. So if you literally judged it on, I've never heard of that jockey, and you looked it up and you go, well, he's never won a race, that was the only reason. Never ever do it. I've so many times in my life, I've got to that point, I've gone, the only thing I don't like is the jockey. If that's the only thing you don't like, never let the jockey booking put you off. Ultimately, the guy wasn't a muck, and he was taking £7 off the horse that was best handicapped in the race, in my view. And then he goes and wins the race very, very comfortably. So, moral of the story is, and I'm not saying, I'm tipping up a winner before, like after the event. I know people will say that sort of stuff. I'm not. I didn't say back the thing. What I'm saying is, it's a great example of don't let a jockey put you off. So that's that. All right, I am finishing there at the start of International Positivity Week. We will see how Wednesday treats us on International Positivity Week. Just be clear, it's the only time you'll ever hear me not necessarily tell the truth. International Positivity Week should be a real thing. That's all I'm saying. That's how we're setting up our week. We'll see how we go. Thursday looks okay and not as good as Wednesday. And then Friday, Saturday, we'll have to see how we go. The biggie on Saturday is the Scottish Grand National, which I seem to remember we backed the Wolf, and then I've literally backed it about 4 or 5 times since last year. I don't even think it did anything in the Scottish National. I can't remember now. I remember we backed it, and it didn't win, but I can't remember even where it finished. But I followed it ever since. So Scottish Grand National Saturday is the biggie. We'll take it day by day, see where we go. But £25 is going down at the start of this week. So that is us. All right. Enjoy your Wednesday. Thank you very much. Bye bye.